Hi, it's me. I'm gonna do the Good Omens voice meme that Maggie made because it looks really fun and all my friends did it and I'm nothing if not a bandwagon jumper. So I'm gonna jump on into this bandwagon, as it were. My name is PJ. My username is Dyke Crowley on Tumblr.com. I am from southeastern Michigan. I was born in Chicago, but we moved uh, to Detroit-ish when I was like a year old. So pretty much the Metro Detroit area is where I've lived most of my life. How did I get into Good Omens? Oof. My best friend Rachel, Amelia Thermopolis on Tumblr.com, who is my favorite person in the entire world. She knows me very well, and books are sort of her love language, and so she recommended it to me very early on in our friendship, probably upwards of 6, maybe 7 years ago. And sometime maybe like 2014, 2015, I purchased the book and left it on a shelf for a long time. And then last July, the craziest fucking thing happened. And that was that the production trailer for the Amazon series dropped, and I happened to be in that sweet spot where I was just descending entirely and swiftly into the hell of hyperfixating on David Tennant again. So I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, this is, I own that book and I plan to read it eventually. So let's see what this video has to say about this book that I own and plan to read eventually. And the trailer goes, dramatic music, and it goes, series 6,000 years in the making, based on the beloved book that could only come from the twisted minds of Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, and then cut to black, and then cut to David's face, and he goes, sort of unlike any television show I've ever been involved in, and I'm like, oh, my mom just called, and she said, if I don't read this book right now, immediately I'm grounded until I die. So, pretty much, the second that I heard him talking about it, that was all the incentive that I needed to read it. And I read it in about 3 hours, maybe. Fell in love very quickly, wanted to die. And the rest, as they say, is history. Why do I like the book? There's nothing really that I can say about it that hasn't already been said. Obviously it's funny, it's original, it's incredibly well written, but I think the thing that appeals to me about it more than anything else, and the thing that really appeals to me about any piece of media, is that it's centered on people. So not just that the story is driven by the characters in it, but also that the story is driven by humanity as a whole and humanity as a concept. So I think that the book has a lot to say about the human capacity for kindness and cruelty and love and hate and our obligation to be the best that we can be. And I think it's really amazing how much like every single character exemplifies that, even like the non-human ones, even the ones who are only there for like a paragraph. It's just, there's no character in the whole book that you don't relate to at some point. There's no character that you don't root for at some point. There's no character that you don't love at some point, because all of the characterization is just so nuanced and organic and so human. It's incredible. It's my favorite thing. It's why I love the book so much. So that's number one reason. Also, I'm gay. Did you like the radio drama? I liked the radio drama for what it was, and what it was not the book. I think a lot of things about it could have been done better. I think that the clunky like narrative inserts in the dialogue are super weird. A lot of the changes from the book were unnecessary and like detracted from the story a little bit, in my opinion. But on the whole, I don't think it's bad. I think whenever I listen to it, I come out of that experience thinking I didn't waste the time that I spent listening to that. And that's kind of, that's my bare minimum for enjoying a piece of media. So I like it, I guess. Are you looking forward to the Amazon series? I am very much looking forward to the series. I'm putting a lot of faith in it, and my hopes for it are very high. And I genuinely don't think it will disappoint. Like, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I know that the people involved in making it knew what they were doing it for and who they were doing it for. Neil knew that this was something that he was doing for Terry, and that's special. And I think that that makes it better. I think that that's going to make the show really good because he really, really cared about this whole project. And I know that, you know, David and Michael at least are fans of the book, and they are also both so receptive to fan existence, I guess. They know what they're doing, and they understand the book, and they understand the fans, and they know how important it is and how much it means. So I think that they're not just in it to make the end product. They're in it specifically, they're in it for us, and I think that that's important. So I think whatever changes there are from the book in the show will not be without reason and will probably be handled really well. And I think on the whole, it will be true to the book and true to the spirit of the book more than anything. I mean, bottom line, I trust nearly everyone involved in the production. I trust them, and I trust them with the story, and I trust them with my heart. So I'm looking forward to that. What does your copy of the book look like? It's not, it's not very old. It's not very worn. It was printed in 2006, and the covers and the spine are all intact. I just had it. Oh, it's right here. So like everything's like intact, but like on the inside, I've got all these sticky notes, and all these highlights and shit like that. So it's like I've marked it up a lot, but it's not like destroyed, you know, just some dog ears and some sticky notes and some incredible highlighting power. So it's what I do. Pronounce Aziraphale and Crowley. That's what I just did. I did it. Who's your favorite character and why? Crowley's my favorite character because I think that his internal conflict, like between who he is and who he wants to be and how he wants to appear, is a struggle that's not only relatable to the human experience, but also sort of representative of the conflict of a book, of the story, like as a whole. Because I think it's about the lies that we tell ourselves and how we come to terms with the actuality of what's going on, you know? And I think that that's replicated in a lot of characters in the book, but I think that the specific way that it manifests, the way that it comes through in Crowley's personality, with his struggle to be good without appearing soft, or to be bad without causing harm. And I think that that just resonated with me more than most of the other characters, because I just, it's a lot of, I guess it's about womanhood. I guess it's about the image and the insecurity of it, you know. I love him. Other than Aziraphale and Crowley, my favorite character is probably a tie between Adam Young and Anathema. With Adam, it's mostly that I think his character is like really true to life as far as kids go. I think that because he is the Antichrist, I think that it is a good way to really emphasize everything about him that is so human. His being non-human makes him human taken to the next level. And so I think that his character is really exemplary of the way that kids can care about people in the way that they can be so self-absorbed and so selfless at the same time. And it's kind of the whole point of the book, that he's just like a regular human kid, and that's what he is. They did a really good job of writing him that way, and I love him as a character, and I love the way that he's written, and I want to protect him. Anathema is different because, like, I can't boil it down to just the fact that I, like, want to marry her. But I do, but it's just that, like, every line about her makes me want to know more about her. She's really compelling as a character, and I don't know if it's because I'm gay or what, but she's so fascinating to me. And I really wish that there was more of her in the book, just her being herself outside of the prophecies and outside of Newt, because she clearly, like, in the narration, clearly shows that she's got such a full personality, and I feel like it does a good job of giving us a glimpse of that, but it doesn't fully do her justice. I would read 6 books about her. I just think that she's got a lot of depth to her that hasn't been fully plumbed, as it were. Anyway, that's my favorite characters. Read your favorite line from the book. That's an interesting thing to ask me to do, because it just so happens that there are a lot of lines in the book, and every single one of these sticky notes is something that I would qualify as one of my favorite lines. So I guess the first one that comes to mind is the bloopity doop. It's 2 lines, but it's 2 lines that sort of mirror each other really well. It's bloopity doopity doop. Why am I doing that? Yes, it's the one at the beginning, that goes, Aziraphale, the enemy, of course, but an enemy for 6,000 years now, which made him a sort of friend. Crowley reached down and picked up the car phone. Being a demon, of course, was supposed to mean you had no free will, but you couldn't hang around humans for very long without learning a thing or two. So I think that line, and then the line later in the book that goes, he ought to tell Crowley. No, he didn't. He wanted to tell Crowley. He ought to tell Heaven. And everything that happens after that. I just think that those 2 lines are really, really indicative, really representative of the relationship that they have. And really, I like the way that those 2 lines sort of parallel each other. So it's cool. It's cool. They're gay. All right. Hastur or Liger. Liger's the unsung hero of this whole book. There was one thing that made me really happy just now, actually. I was looking through here, and just now something just made me happy. It was the fact that he complimented Crowley's pen. Like, that's such a nice thing to say. I mean, obviously he's not nice, but, like, that's something that I would absolutely do. I'm a fucking, it writes underwater. I own a pen that I brag about all the time. It's Swiss, and I talk about it constantly. And so when Liger told Crowley that he had a nice pen, I was like, you go, man. Anyway, rest in fucking pieces, little bitch. Bookshop or Bentley. Books are my happy place. And old books are really, really my happy place. And old books in old buildings are really, really, really my happy place. And so I would love to just, like, exist all cozy in a place like that, provided that I'm the Aziraphale or the Crowley in that situation and not a customer, because I am the exact type of person that Aziraphale would kick out of his bookshop in a heartbeat. So provided that I'm the proprietor or the proprietor's life partner, that's what Crowley is, that I can just exist there and just, like, be in it. I wouldn't even need to read the books. I would read the books, but I wouldn't need to. I just want to like be there, you know? Um, Flaming sword or tire iron. Not to sound like a heretical lesbian, but I should not be trusted with a blade of any kind, nor with a flame of any kind, and combining the two would be highly inadvisable. So I'm going to go with the tire iron because I don't think I could hurt somebody with a tire iron if I tried, and I don't want to hurt anybody. So give me a tire iron. I will not hurt anybody with it. I will also not use it for its intended purpose. I will carry it around to look cool. So I think that makes me a winner. That was the whole thing. I spoke the words with my voice and with my face as well. Thank you for listening and watching and putting up with me and give me compliments.